Ladies and gentlemen, success is often perceived as the result of monumental achievements or singular, groundbreaking moments. However, the true foundation of success lies not in these extraordinary occurrences, but in the consistent, everyday actions that build towards greatness. Just as the ancient biblical figures faced monumental challenges and built legacies through unwavering dedication, so too does modern success emerge from a bedrock of persistent effort. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible, whose rules rise from the depths of slavery and imprisonment to become the governor of Egypt, is a profound illustration of this principle. Joseph's journey was marked by consistent faithfulness and diligence. Even in the face of severe adversity, he remained steadfast in his commitment to his work and his values, which ultimately led him to a position of great influence and prosperity. This narrative exemplifies how consistent, small actions and a steadfast spirit can lead to significant achievements. Success, therefore, is less about isolated acts of brilliance and more about the cumulative effect of daily, intentional actions. It is a process that requires discipline and perseverance. The story of Joseph reminds us that while we might face trials and tribulations, it is our consistent behavior, even in challenging times, that shapes our ultimate success. The Bible teaches us that whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Colossians 3:23. This passage emphasizes the importance of dedication and integrity in our daily endeavors, regardless of immediate outcomes. Consistency in our actions builds a solid foundation because it creates reliability and trust. Just as Joseph's consistent integrity earned him the trust of those around him, our steady efforts build our reputation and establish a foundation upon which further success can be built. Consistent actions signal reliability and commitment, qualities that are essential for long-term success. They form the core of our professional and personal identities, influencing how others perceive and interact with us. Additionally, the process of achieving success through consistency involves developing and adhering to habits. The Bible encourages us to cultivate virtues such as patience and perseverance. Proverbs 12:11 says, "Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense." This verse underscores the value of diligent, consistent effort over chasing fleeting dreams. It highlights that working consistently towards our goals will yield results, unlike those who lack focus or discipline. Habits formed through consistent actions gradually become second nature, contributing significantly to our overall success. For instance, this consistent practice in any field, whether it is in developing a skill, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, or nurturing relationships, leads to mastery and growth. These habits, grounded in regular, deliberate actions, are what sustain long-term progress and success. The Bible's wisdom in Proverbs 13:4 states, "A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied." This reflects the principle that diligent, consistent effort brings fulfillment and results. The foundation of success also involves the ability to remain focused and committed, even when the immediate rewards are not apparent. The Bible offers encouragement in this area as well. Galatians 6:9 advises, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This verse underscores the importance of maintaining consistency, even when progress seems slow. It is through perseverance and unwavering dedication that we eventually see the fruits of our labor. Furthermore, consistent effort contributes to the creation of momentum, a powerful force in the journey toward success. Just as a small stream can gradually erode a mountain, consistent, incremental actions build momentum over time. The cumulative effect of these small, steady actions can lead to significant accomplishments. This concept is reflected in Ecclesiastes 11:6, which states, "Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let not your hands be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well." This passage encourages continual effort and investment, emphasizing that consistent work will eventually lead to success. Unwavering commitment is a cornerstone of success, embodying the idea that achievement is not a matter of fleeting enthusiasm, but of steadfast dedication. This principle is vividly illustrated in both ancient wisdom and modern experience, showing that true success demands more than momentary bursts of effort. It requires a continuous, unwavering commitment to one's goals and values. To grasp the importance of unwavering commitment, let us look at the biblical figure of Daniel. Daniel's unwavering dedication to his principles, even when faced with the threat of being thrown into the lion's den, exemplifies this virtue. Daniel's commitment to his faith and his practice of prayer, despite the consequences, demonstrates how steadfastness in one's values and objectives can lead to extraordinary outcomes. The Bible recounts, "But when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room, where the windows opened toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God, just as he had done before Daniel 6:10. Daniel's unwavering commitment to his daily prayers, despite the risks, ultimately led to his deliverance and increased respect from those around him. Unwavering commitment involves more than merely sticking to a task. It encompasses a deep, resolute dedication to one's purpose and values. This kind of commitment means pursuing goals with persistence, regardless of obstacles, setbacks, or challenges. It is the driving force that transforms intentions into actions and actions into achievements in the face of adversity. Those who maintain an unwavering commitment remain focused and resilient, pushing forward even when the path is fraught with difficulties. This principle is echoed in the New Testament, where the Apostle Paul writes about the value of commitment and perseverance. In Philippians 3:14, Paul says, "I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." This passage highlights the importance of a single-minded focus and commitment to one's higher calling, illustrating how such dedication is crucial for reaching ultimate goals. Commitment is also essential for cultivating discipline. Without unwavering commitment, it is easy to succumb to distractions or abandon goals when immediate gratification or easier alternatives present themselves. Consistency in commitment requires a disciplined approach, where one remains dedicated to their objectives even when the initial excitement fades. The Bible's exhortation to commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3 reinforces the idea that committing our actions and efforts to a higher purpose can bring clarity and direction, ensuring that our endeavors are aligned with our values and goals. Moreover, unwavering commitment is about maintaining focus and motivation over the long haul. It involves setting clear goals and persevering through the process, understanding that success is often a gradual journey rather than an instantaneous event. The Bible encourages this kind of perseverance with a reminder in James 1:12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him." This verse emphasizes the blessing that comes from steadfast commitment, highlighting that enduring trials with commitment leads to rewards and fulfillment. In practical terms, unwavering commitment means creating and adhering to a plan, setting realistic milestones, and adjusting strategies as necessary while staying focused on the end goal. It involves developing habits and routines that support one's objectives and making deliberate choices that align with one's values and aspirations. Such commitment requires resilience and the ability to stay motivated even when progress seems slow or challenges arise. Unwavering commitment is the force that drives individuals to overcome obstacles, persist through difficulties, and achieve their goals. It is the enduring dedication to one's purpose and values that transforms aspirations into tangible success. The biblical examples and teachings underscore the importance of maintaining this commitment, revealing that steadfastness in one's efforts and faith is a key component of enduring achievement and fulfillment. Through unwavering commitment, we harness the power to shape our destinies, overcome adversity, and realize our full potential. Trust and reliability are essential elements in the journey to success, shaping how we are perceived by others and influencing our ability to form lasting, meaningful relationships. Consistent actions and behaviors build a foundation of trust, which is crucial for both personal and professional success. When we are reliable, we establish ourselves as dependable partners, colleagues, and friends, paving the way for collaborative and fruitful endeavors. To understand the importance of building trust and reliability, consider the biblical account of Job. Job's story is one of profound trust and faithfulness. Despite facing intense trials and suffering, Job remained steadfast in his integrity and commitment to his principles. His unwavering reliability in maintaining his faith, even when his world seemed to be falling apart, ultimately led to his restoration and blessing. The Bible tells us in all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing, Job 1:22. Job's steadfastness under pressure highlights how consistent behavior and reliability can sustain us through even the most challenging times and earn us profound respect and trust. Trust is built through the consistency of our actions and adherence to our values. When we consistently align our behavior with our promises and principles, we establish a reputation for reliability. This is particularly significant in professional settings, where trust and reliability are fundamental to successful teamwork and leadership. Consistent behavior fosters a sense of security and dependability, which is essential for building strong relationships and effective collaborations. In Proverbs 11:3, we read, "The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity." This verse underscores the importance of integrity and reliability. It suggests that consistent adherence to moral principles and reliability in our actions guide us towards success, while inconsistencies and deceit lead to failure. By embodying reliability and integrity in all our dealings, we not only gain the trust of others, but also set a standard for how we wish to be treated. Moreover, building trust requires more than just being reliable. It involves demonstrating accountability and taking responsibility for our actions. Accountability means owning up to our commitments and ensuring that we follow through on our promises. When we are consistent in this regard, we show others that we are trustworthy and dependable. The Bible reflects this principle in Luke 16:10, which states, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." This passage emphasizes that reliability in small matters builds the foundation for greater responsibilities and trustworthiness. Reliability also plays a crucial role in leadership. Leaders who consistently demonstrate trustworthiness and dependability inspire confidence and respect from their teams. They create an environment where others feel secure and motivated, knowing that their leader will act consistently and honor their commitments. Jesus, as a model of perfect leadership, was known for his unwavering commitment to his mission and his reliability in fulfilling his promises. In John 14:13-14, Jesus assures his followers of his reliability, saying, "And I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. You may ask me for anything in my name, and I will do it." This assurance reflects the deep trust and reliability that Jesus demonstrated in his promises and actions. In practical terms, building trust and reliability involves consistent communication, meeting deadlines, honoring commitments, and maintaining a high standard of integrity. It means being transparent and authentic in our interactions and taking responsibility for our actions. When we consistently demonstrate these qualities, we build strong, trusting relationships that are crucial for achieving long-term success. Harnessing the power of habit is a transformative concept in the pursuit of success. Habits are the building blocks of our daily lives, shaping our actions, behaviors, and ultimately our outcomes. By understanding and leveraging the power of habit, we can turn intentional actions into automatic routines that significantly contribute to our long-term success. The Bible offers valuable insights into the importance of habits. Proverbs 4:26 says, "Give careful thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your ways." This passage emphasizes the importance of deliberate choices and the need for consistency in our actions. By being mindful of the habits we cultivate, we can guide our lives in a direction that aligns with our goals and values. Habits are formed through repeated actions, which eventually become ingrained in our routines. This process of habit formation is both a powerful tool and a double-edged sword. On one hand, positive habits such as regular exercise, disciplined work habits, and consistent learning contribute to personal and professional growth. On the other hand, negative habits such as procrastination or unhealthy lifestyle choices can hinder progress and success. In the New Testament, the Apostle Paul provides practical advice on cultivating positive habits. In Philippians 4:8, he writes, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." This encouragement to focus on positive attributes can be applied to habit formation. By consistently directing our thoughts and actions toward positive behaviors, we build habits that foster growth and success. The power of habit lies in its ability to create consistency without requiring constant effort. Once a habit is established, it becomes a default behavior, allowing us to focus our mental energy on other tasks. For instance, a habit of daily exercise becomes a natural part of our routine, reducing the need for continuous motivation in decision making. This automaticity frees up cognitive resources, enabling us to pursue other goals with greater focus and efficiency. Harnessing the power of habit involves identifying and cultivating habits that align with our goals. This requires intentionality and discipline. The Bible provides guidance on establishing positive habits in Romans 12:2. "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This verse highlights the importance of transforming our thought patterns and behaviors to align with our values and aspirations. By consciously developing habits that reflect our desired outcomes, we set ourselves on a path to success. Building positive habits involves a process of repetition and reinforcement. Start by setting clear, achievable goals and break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. Consistently performing these tasks over time leads to the formation of habits. For example, if your goal is to improve your knowledge in a particular area, dedicating a small amount of time each day to studying or reading will eventually become a habit, contributing to your growth and expertise. The Bible also emphasizes the significance of discipline in habit formation. Hebrews 12:11 notes, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." This verse acknowledges the challenges of maintaining discipline, but also highlights the long-term benefits of developing positive habits. Discipline is a key factor in establishing and maintaining habits, as it requires persistence and commitment, even when immediate rewards are not apparent. Resilience through challenges is a fundamental aspect of achieving success, embodying the ability to persevere and adapt in the face of adversity. Success is rarely a straight path. It often involves navigating obstacles, overcoming setbacks, and bouncing back from failures. Developing resilience equips us to handle these challenges with strength and determination, ultimately paving the way for sustained success. The Bible provides profound examples of resilience in the face of trials. One notable figure is Job, whose story is a powerful testament to enduring faith and perseverance amidst profound suffering. Despite losing his wealth, health, and family, Job maintained his faith and integrity, ultimately receiving restoration and blessings. Job's response to his trials demonstrates remarkable resilience. The Lord gave, and the Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. Job 1:21. Job's resilience in maintaining his faith through severe hardship illustrates the strength that comes from unwavering dedication and trust in a higher purpose. Resilience is not merely about enduring hardship, but also about adapting and growing through it. Challenges and setbacks offer opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. They can serve as catalysts for developing new skills, perspectives, and strengths. The Apostle Paul's experience in 2 Corinthians 12:9 highlights this concept, but he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me." Paul's acknowledgement of his weaknesses and his ability to find strength in them illustrate how resilience involves embracing and growing through challenges rather than being defeated by them. Resilience involves a mindset that views challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. This mindset is crucial for navigating difficulties effectively. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, resilient individuals see them as chances to learn, adapt, and improve. The Bible encourages this mindset in Romans 5:3-4. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope. This passage highlights that enduring challenges leads to the development of perseverance, character, and hope, qualities that are essential for long-term success and fulfillment. Building resilience requires developing coping strategies and maintaining a positive outlook. It involves cultivating skills such as problem solving, emotional regulation, and stress management. Resilient individuals often employ these strategies to navigate difficult situations effectively and maintain their progress toward their goals. The Bible's wisdom in Proverbs 24:16 underscores the importance of resilience, for though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. This verse suggests that resilience involves rising and continuing after setbacks, maintaining a commitment to one's goals despite difficulties. Moreover, resilience is supported by a strong support system. Surrounding ourselves with positive, encouraging individuals who provide support and perspective can greatly enhance our ability to cope with challenges. The Bible acknowledges the value of community in providing strength and support. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10. Building and nurturing relationships with those who uplift and support us can bolster our resilience and help us navigate challenges more effectively. Developing resilience involves practicing self-care, maintaining a balanced perspective, and setting realistic goals. It means acknowledging the difficulties we face while focusing on the steps we can take to overcome them. By cultivating a resilient mindset, we prepare ourselves to handle challenges with grace and determination, turning potential setbacks into stepping stones for growth and success. Creating momentum is a powerful concept in achieving success, as it involves harnessing the cumulative effect of consistent actions to propel oneself forward. Momentum refers to the driving force that builds over time as small, deliberate efforts to accumulate and generate increasing results. Understanding and leveraging this concept can significantly enhance our ability to achieve long-term goals and sustain progress. The Bible provides a clear example of the power of momentum in the story of the widow's oil in 2 Kings 4:17. In this story, the widow, facing a dire financial situation and threatened by creditors, is instructed by the prophet Elisha to collect empty jars and pour oil into them from a small amount she has left. As she pours, the oil keeps flowing, filling every jar she has gathered. The miraculous provision of oil continues until all jars are filled, demonstrating how small actions, when done consistently and with faith, can create a momentum that produces abundant results. The widow's act of gathering and pouring, despite its modest start, builds momentum that transforms her dire situation into a prosperous one. Creating momentum involves starting with small, manageable actions and gradually building upon them. The principle here is that initial efforts, although they may seem minor, can lead to significant progress over time. The Bible's wisdom in Zechariah 4:10 reflects this concept: do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. This verse encourages us to value and persevere through the early stages of any endeavor, recognizing that even small steps can lay the foundation for greater achievements. The power of momentum is rooted in the principle that sustained, incremental progress can lead to significant outcomes. This principle is evident in various areas of life, from personal development to professional achievements. For example, establishing a habit of daily exercise, even if the initial workouts are short or modest, can gradually lead to improved fitness and overall health. Similarly, consistently working on small tasks or projects can eventually lead to substantial accomplishments and success. Creating momentum involves setting clear goals and breaking them down into actionable steps. By focusing on completing these small steps consistently, we build momentum that propels us toward our larger objectives. The Bible's guidance in Proverbs 13:11 provides insight into this process. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. This passage emphasizes the value of steady, incremental efforts in achieving growth and success. Furthermore, momentum is fueled by maintaining motivation and enthusiasm. As we experience progress and witness the results of our efforts, our motivation increases, creating a positive feedback loop. This growing momentum drives us to continue pursuing our goals with greater vigor and determination. The Bible acknowledges the role of motivation and perseverance in achieving success. As seen in Galatians 6:9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This verse highlights the importance of perseverance and maintaining motivation through the process of creating momentum. To sustain momentum, it is essential to remain consistent and adaptable. While initial efforts may generate significant progress, maintaining momentum requires ongoing commitment and the ability to adjust strategies as needed. The Bible's encouragement in Proverbs 4:25-27 reinforces this approach. Let your eyes look straight ahead, fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your ways. This passage advises focusing on our goals and maintaining consistency while being open to adapting our approach to continue moving forward. In conclusion, the journey to success is deeply rooted in fundamental principles that guide our actions and shape our outcomes. The power of consistency ensures that our daily efforts accumulate into significant achievements, while unwavering commitment fuels our perseverance through challenges. Building trust and reliability establishes a strong foundation for meaningful relationships and collaborations. Harnessing the power of habit transforms intentional actions into automatic routines, propelling us toward our goals. Resilience through challenges allows us to adapt and grow, turning setbacks into opportunities. Finally, creating momentum leverages incremental progress to drive us forward with increasing force. These principles, reflected in both biblical wisdom and practical experience, underscore the importance of dedicated effort, integrity, and perseverance. By embracing these concepts, we lay the groundwork for lasting success, achieving our aspirations, and making a meaningful impact in our lives and the lives of others. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and fellow travelers on this journey of life, I stand before you today with a message that is as old as time, yet as powerful as the sun's first rays breaking through the dawn. It is a message of transformation, of renewal, and of hope. It is a message that says, turn your pain into power. Pain, in its raw and unfiltered form, is often viewed as something to be avoided, resisted, or numbed. It is a sensation that most people dread, a companion that no one wishes to embrace. Yet, pain is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. And when understood correctly, it can serve as a catalyst for profound growth and transformation. The very presence of pain in our lives is not merely a signal of suffering, it is a call to transformation, a summons to transcend the limitations of our current state and evolve into something greater. To grasp the transformative potential of pain, we must first shift our perspective. In the natural world, pain is a necessary component of life. It is a warning system, alerting us to danger and prompting us to take action to protect ourselves. But beyond this basic survival mechanism, pain serves a higher purpose in the journey of personal development. It is through the experience of pain that we are pushed to confront the weaknesses, fears, and inadequacies that hold us back. It forces us to examine the deeper layers of our existence, revealing truths about ourselves that we may not have been willing or able to see otherwise. When we face pain, we are presented with a choice to be broken by it or to be remade through it. Pain has the unique ability to strip away the superficial aspects of our lives, leaving us with the raw, unvarnished core of who we are. It exposes the parts of us that need to change, the aspects of our character that need refining. In this way, pain becomes a powerful tool for growth, a crucible in which our true selves are forged. Consider the process of refining a precious metal, such as gold. Before it can shine with its true brilliance, gold must first be subjected to intense heat. This heat burns away the impurities, leaving behind only the purest form of the metal. Similarly, pain can be seen as the heat that purifies our souls. It burns away the impurities in our character, such as arrogance, fear, and selfishness, and reveals the pure, resilient core that lies beneath. Pain also has the power to expand our capacity for empathy and compassion. When we experience deep pain, we gain a deeper understanding of the suffering of others. This shared experience of pain creates a bond between people, fostering a sense of connection and solidarity that transcends superficial differences. It is often through our own suffering that we develop the ability to truly understand and support others in their times of need. Furthermore, pain can serve as a powerful motivator for change. When the discomfort of remaining the same becomes greater than the fear of change, we are compelled to take action. Pain forces us to confront the reality of our circumstances and to make the difficult decisions that we may have been avoiding. It propels us out of our comfort zones and into the unknown, where true growth occurs. It is in these moments of discomfort and uncertainty that we discover our true potential, our hidden strengths, and our capacity for resilience. The process of growth through pain is not linear or predictable. It is often messy, confusing, and filled with setbacks. But it is precisely this unpredictability that makes the process so powerful. Pain has a way of disrupting the status quo, shaking us out of our complacency, and forcing us to reevaluate our priorities and beliefs. It challenges us to let go of what no longer serves us and to embrace new ways of thinking and being. Pain also teaches us the value of perseverance and determination. When we are in the midst of suffering, it can be tempting to give up, to succumb to despair. But it is in these moments of darkness that our true character is tested. The ability to endure pain, to push through it and emerge on the other side, is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. It is through this endurance that we build resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity and continue moving forward. As we endure and eventually overcome pain, we often find that we have developed new skills, insights, and perspectives that we could not have gained otherwise. Pain forces us to think creatively, to find solutions to problems that we may have previously thought unsolvable. It opens our minds to new possibilities and encourages us to take risks that we might have otherwise avoided. In this way, pain acts as a powerful catalyst for growth, pushing us to evolve beyond our current state. It challenges us to rise above our limitations, to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate versions of ourselves. It strips away the illusions that we have built around ourselves and reveals the truth of who we are and what we are capable of. Through pain, we are given the opportunity to transform our lives, to step into our true potential, and to become the people we were always meant to be. Pain, then, is not something to be feared or avoided. It is an integral part of the human experience, a necessary force for transformation and growth. When we embrace pain, when we allow it to do its work in our lives, we unlock the door to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. We gain the strength and resilience to face whatever challenges come our way, and we emerge from the experience stronger, wiser, and more fully alive. Pain, in all its forms, is a gifted gift that, when embraced, has the power to transform us into the highest versions of ourselves. Pain, in its most profound sense, is often perceived as a burden, an unwelcome intruder in the journey of life. Yet to those who seek a deeper understanding of their experiences, pain is not merely an affliction, but a messenger carrying valuable lessons. To understand the purpose in pain is to unlock a powerful truth. Every instance of suffering holds within it a lesson, a message, and an opportunity for transformation. This realization is the cornerstone of a purpose-driven life, one that is shaped not by the avoidance of pain, but by the wisdom gleaned from it. Pain, by its very nature, demands attention. It forces us to pause, to reflect, and to confront the realities of our lives that we might otherwise overlook. In this way, pain serves as a teacher, guiding us toward the lessons we need to learn to grow and evolve. These lessons are often difficult, requiring us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, our relationships, and the world around us. However, it is through this confrontation that we gain the clarity and insight necessary for true personal development. The first step in understanding the purpose in pain is to shift our perspective. Rather than seeing pain as a random or meaningless occurrence, we must begin to view it as a deliberate and intentional experience, one that is designed to teach us something valuable. This shift in perspective allows us to approach pain with curiosity rather than fear, asking ourselves, what is this experience trying to teach me? What message does this pain carry? When we begin to ask these questions, we open ourselves up to the possibility of transformation. We start to see our pain not as a hindrance, but as a stepping stone on the path to greater self-awareness and understanding. This is a critical realization because it empowers us to take control of our narrative. Instead of being passive victims of our circumstances, we become active participants in our growth, using our pain as a tool for self-discovery and empowerment. The greatest leaders and thinkers throughout history have understood this truth. They did not shy away from pain. Instead, they embraced it, allowing it to shape their lives and guide them toward their purpose. These individuals recognize that pain is often the catalyst for the most profound and meaningful change. It is through their struggles and hardships that they discovered their true calling, and it is this calling that propelled them to make a lasting impact on the world. Consider the life of Nelson Mandela, who endured 27 years of imprisonment under the harshest conditions. His pain was not without purpose. It was through this suffering that Mandela found the strength and conviction to lead a nation toward freedom and reconciliation. His time in prison was not wasted. It was a period of deep reflection and growth that ultimately prepared him for the monumental task of uniting a divided country. Mandela's pain became his purpose, and his purpose became a beacon of hope for millions. Similarly, the renowned physicist Stephen Hawking, despite being diagnosed with a debilitating illness that left him almost entirely paralyzed, found purpose in his pain. Instead of succumbing to despair, Hawking channeled his suffering into his work, making groundbreaking contributions to the field of cosmology. His physical limitations did not define him, rather, they fueled his determination to explore the mysteries of the universe. Hawking's pain became the driving force behind his pursuit of knowledge, and his legacy continues to inspire scientists and thinkers around the world. These examples illustrate a powerful truth. Pain, when understood and embraced, can become the foundation of a purpose-driven life. It is through our deepest struggles that we often find our greatest strengths, and it is in our darkest moments that our true purpose is revealed. This purpose is not always immediately apparent. It may take time, reflection, and perseverance to uncover. But when we do, it has the power to transform not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us. Understanding the purpose in pain also requires us to trust in the process of life. It means believing that every experience, no matter how painful, is part of a larger plan, one that is ultimately working for our highest good. This trust allows us to find meaning in even the most challenging circumstances, giving us the strength to endure and the wisdom to grow. Moreover, when we understand the purpose in our pain, we gain the ability to empathize with others who are suffering. Our own experiences of pain become a source of compassion, enabling us to connect with others on a deeper level and offer support in their times of need. This empathy is a powerful tool for healing, both for ourselves and for those we help. It is through the sharing of our stories and the lessons we have learned that we can inspire and uplift others, turning our personal pain into a force for collective good. The purpose in pain is not always immediately clear, but it is always present. Every pain carries a lesson, a message, and an opportunity for growth. The greatest leaders and thinkers have shown us that by embracing our pain and seeking to understand its purpose, we can transform our suffering into a purpose-driven life that impacts the world in profound and lasting ways. Through this understanding, we are empowered to face our challenges with courage and grace, knowing that our pain is not in vain, but is leading us toward a greater purpose and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Pain, though often perceived as an unwelcome visitor, has the potential to be one of the most powerful motivators in our lives. When harnessed correctly, it can become the driving force behind our greatest achievements, pushing us to reach heights which we never thought possible. The energy that pain generates can be redirected, transformed from a force of destruction into a catalyst for success and fulfillment. To harness pain as fuel is to take control of your narrative, to channel the intensity of your suffering into a relentless pursuit of your goals. Pain, at its core, is energy. It is raw, potent, and often overwhelming. When we experience pain, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, we are flooded with a surge of intense energy. This energy can easily spiral into despair, anger, or bitterness if left unchecked. However, if we can learn to harness this energy and redirect it, it can become a powerful motivator that propels us forward, driving us to overcome obstacles and achieve our dreams. The first step in harnessing pain as fuel is to shift our mindset. We must move from a position of passive suffering to one of active engagement. Instead of allowing pain to paralyze us, we can choose to use it as a source of power. This requires a conscious decision to face our pain head-on, to acknowledge it, and to recognize the potential it holds for transformation. By reframing our pain in this way, we take the first step toward reclaiming our power. When we redirect the energy of pain, we tap into a wellspring of motivation that is deeply personal and uniquely powerful. Unlike external motivators such as money or recognition, the motivation that comes from pain is rooted in our most profound experiences. It is fueled by our deepest desires to overcome, to prove ourselves, and to rise above the challenges that life has thrown our way. This type of motivation is resilient. It does not fade in the face of adversity, but instead grows stronger. Consider the stories of individuals who have faced tremendous pain and used it as fuel for their success. These stories are not uncommon. They are, in fact, a testament to the transformative power of pain. Many of the world's most successful people have faced significant hardships, whether poverty, illness, loss, or failure, and have used these experiences to fuel their drive for success. Their pain became their fire, igniting a passion and determination that propelled them toward greatness. One such example is Oprah Winfrey, whose early life was marked by poverty, abuse, and numerous personal challenges. Despite these hardships, Oprah did not allow her pain to define her. Instead, she harnessed the energy of her pain and used it to fuel her journey toward becoming one of the most influential and successful women in the world. Her pain became the source of her empathy, her drive, and her unyielding determination to succeed. By channeling her suffering into her work, Oprah transformed her pain into a powerful force for change, not only in her own life, but in the lives of millions. Another example is the story of J.K. Rowling, who faced severe financial difficulties and personal struggles before finding success with the Harry Potter series. During the lowest points of her life, when she was a single mother living on welfare, Rowling did not succumb to despair. Instead, she used her pain as motivation to pursue her passion for writing. The hardships she faced gave her the resilience and determination to keep going, even when the odds were stacked against her. Today, her success is a testament to the power of harnessing pain as fuel for one's dreams. The process of harnessing pain as fuel is not without its challenges. It requires a high degree of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. We must be willing to confront our pain, to explore its roots, and to understand how it impacts us. This introspection can be difficult and uncomfortable, but it is essential if we are to transform our pain into a source of strength. By understanding the ways in which our pain influences our thoughts, behaviors, and decisions, we can begin to take control of it and use it to our advantage. Moreover, harnessing pain as fuel involves setting clear goals and developing a plan to achieve them. Pain, in its raw form, is chaotic and unstructured. To make it work for us, we must channel it into specific actionable steps that lead us toward our desired outcomes. This process requires discipline, focus, and perseverance. It is about turning the energy of pain into a powerful directed force that drives us forward, even in the face of obstacles and setbacks. As we harness our pain, we also develop a deeper sense of purpose. Pain, when used as fuel, aligns us with our true passions and desires. It clarifies what is most important to us and gives us the courage to pursue it with everything we have. This sense of purpose becomes a guiding light, helping us navigate the challenges and uncertainties that come our way. It transforms our pain from something that weakens us into something that empowers us, giving our lives greater meaning and direction. Furthermore, by harnessing pain as fuel, we build resilience. Each time we use our pain to push forward, we become stronger and more capable of handling future challenges. This resilience is not just about enduring hardships, but about thriving in spite of them. It is about using our past experiences of pain to inform and inspire our future actions, creating a cycle of growth and success. Resilience, that remarkable quality that allows us to bend without breaking, is often born in the fire of adversity. It is in the crucible of our most challenging experiences, in those moments when we are pushed to our limits, that resilience is forged. In the midst of our darkest hours, when it feels as though the weight of the world is pressing down upon us, our true strength is revealed. Resilience is not simply about surviving adversity, it is about emerging from it stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Adversity is an inevitable part of life. No one is immune to the trials and tribulations that life brings. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a devastating failure, or a seemingly insurmountable obstacle, adversity strikes at the core of our being, challenging everything we thought we knew about ourselves. In these moments, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, defeated, and hopeless. But it is precisely in these moments that the seeds of resilience are sown. Resilience is not an innate trait that some people are born with while others are not. It is a quality that is developed through experience, particularly through the experience of hardship. When we face adversity, we are presented with a choice to succumb to the pressure or to rise above it. Resilience is the ability to choose the latter, to stand firm in the face of adversity and refuse to be defeated by it. It is the strength to keep going, even when every part of us wants to give up. The process of developing resilience is akin to the process of forging steel. Just as steel is tempered through repeated exposure to intense heat and pressure, so too is our character tempered by the challenges we face. Each trial, each setback, each moment of pain and suffering adds another layer of strength to our character. Over time, this repeated exposure to adversity builds within us an unshakable resilience, a deep well of inner strength that we can draw upon in times of need. Resilience is not about denying or minimizing the pain we experience. It is about acknowledging that pain and choosing to move forward in spite of it. It is about recognizing that suffering is a part of life, but it does not have to define our lives. Resilience allows us to confront our pain head-on, to learn from it, and to use it as a catalyst for growth. It is the ability to find meaning in our suffering, to see beyond the immediate pain to the lessons it holds for us. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is its ability to reveal our true power. In the darkest moments of our lives, when everything seems to be falling apart, we often discover strengths we never knew we had. We find that we are capable of enduring more than we ever thought possible. We learn that we have the capacity to persevere, to adapt, and to overcome even the most daunting challenges. This realization of our inner strength is one of the greatest gifts of resilience. Moreover, resilience is not just about bouncing back from adversity, it is about bouncing forward. It is about using our experiences of hardship as a springboard for personal growth and transformation. When we are resilient, we don't simply return to the way things were before the adversity struck. Instead, we emerge from the experience changed, stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle whatever life throws our way in the future. Resilience transforms our pain into power, our setbacks into stepping stones, and our challenges into opportunities for growth. Resilience also plays a crucial role in shaping our identity. It is often through our struggles that we come to understand who we truly are. Adversity has a way of stripping away the superficial layers of our identity, revealing the core of our being. It forces us thus to confront our deepest fears, our most deeply held beliefs, and our true values. In doing so, it gives us the opportunity to redefine ourselves, to align our lives more closely with our true purpose, and to live with greater authenticity. Another important aspect of resilience is its ability to foster hope. In the midst of adversity, it is easy to lose sight of the light at the end of the tunnel. But resilience allows us to hold on to hope, even in the darkest of times. It reminds us that no matter how difficult our circumstances may be, there is always a way forward. This hope is not a naive optimism, but a deep, abiding belief in our ability to overcome. It is the belief that we have the strength, the resources, and the resilience to navigate whatever challenges come our way. Resilience is also contagious. When we demonstrate resilience in the face of adversity, we inspire those around us to do the same. Our strength becomes the source of strength for others, our hope a beacon of light in their darkness. In this way, resilience has the power to create a ripple effect, spreading from person to person, community to community, until it becomes a force for collective strength and healing. Resilience is one of the most powerful qualities we can develop in our lives. It is born in the fire of adversity, tempered by experience, and revealed in our darkest moments. Through resilience, we discover our true strength, our true power, and our true potential. It allows us to rise above our challenges, to grow through our struggles, and to emerge from our hardships stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. Resilience is not just about surviving, it is about thriving, about using our experiences of adversity as a springboard for success and fulfillment. Pain is often seen as an obstacle, something that hinders progress and stands in the way of our goals. But what if we redefine pain not as a stumbling block, but as a stepping stone toward a higher level of existence? This shift in perspective can transform our relationship with pain, allowing us to see it not as a barrier, but as a bridge one that connects where we are to where we are destined to be. Every experience of pain carries with it the potential for growth. Pain is not just a sign of suffering, it is a signal that something within us needs to change, evolve, or be understood at a deeper level. It challenges us to move beyond our comfort zones, to push past our limits, and to explore new possibilities. When we begin to see pain as a stepping stone, we recognize that it is an essential part of our journey, a necessary passage that we must traverse to reach our full potential. The idea of pain as a stepping stone is rooted in the understanding that every challenge, every moment of suffering is an opportunity for transformation. Pain forces us to confront the aspects of our lives that are not working, the beliefs that are holding us back, and the patterns that are keeping us stuck. It compels us to make changes that we might otherwise avoid, to take risks that we might otherwise fear, and to pursue paths that we might otherwise overlook. When we view pain in this way, we begin to see it as a catalyst for progress. Rather than being something to avoid or resist, pain becomes a powerful motivator, urging us to take the next step in our journey. It becomes the force that drives us forward, propelling us toward our goals and helping us to achieve things we never thought possible. Pain, then, is not an enemy, but a guide one that shows us the way to a higher level of existence. Consider the life of any successful individual, and you will likely find a story of pain and struggle. These stories are not just tales of hardship, they are narratives of triumph, of individuals who use their pain as a stepping stone to reach new heights. Each setback, each failure, each moment of despair became a pivotal moment in their journey, a turning point that led them to where they are today. Their pain was not a roadblock but a bridge, one that connected their past to their future, their struggles to their successes. One of the key aspects of redefining pain as a stepping stone is the recognition that pain is temporary, but the growth it facilitates is lasting. Pain, by its very nature, is transient. It comes and goes, ebbs and flows. But the lessons we learn from it, the strength we gain, and the changes we make are permanent. When we use pain as a stepping stone, we transform temporary suffering into lasting progress, temporary discomfort into permanent growth. This transformation requires a willingness to embrace pain, to lean into it rather than shy away from it. It requires us to be open to the lessons that pain has to offer, to be willing to see beyond the immediate discomfort to the long-term benefits. This is not always easy. Pain can be intense, overwhelming, and frightening. But when we approach it with a mindset of growth and transformation, we can begin to see it as an ally rather than an adversary. Pain as a stepping stone also teaches us the importance of perseverance. The journey from where we are to where we are destined to be is not always a straight path. It is often marked by detours, obstacles, and setbacks. But each of these challenges is an opportunity to build resilience, to strengthen our resolve, and to deepen our commitment to our goals. When we encounter pain on our journey, we must remind ourselves that it is not a sign that we are on the wrong path, but rather an indication that we are moving in the right direction. Moreover, redefining pain as a stepping stone allows us to cultivate a sense of gratitude for our struggles. When we look back on the painful experiences in our lives, we often realize that they were the moments that shaped us the most, that taught us the most valuable lessons, and that led us to where we are today. By viewing pain as a stepping stone, we can begin to appreciate the role it plays in our growth and development. We can see our pain not as something to be regretted, but as something to be honored and valued. Redefining pain as a stepping stone is about embracing the full spectrum of the human experience. It is about recognizing that growth and progress are often born out of struggle and hardship, that the path to success is rarely smooth or easy. Pain, when viewed in this light, becomes an integral part of our journey, a necessary and even welcome companion on the road to our highest potential. When we embrace this perspective, we empower ourselves to move forward with courage and determination, knowing that every step we take, no matter how painful, is bringing us closer to our ultimate destination. We understand that pain is not something to fear or avoid, but something to use and harness, something that can propel us toward a higher level of existence. It is the bridge that connects where we are to where we are destined to be, and by walking that bridge, we step into the fullness of who we are meant to become. Empowerment is not merely a state of being, it is a process, a journey that often begins in the depths of pain. To transform pain into empowerment is to take control of your narrative, to turn what might seem like your greatest weakness into your most powerful strength. This transformation is not only about personal growth, it's about using your experiences to uplift others, to become a beacon of hope for those who are struggling in their own darkness. When you embrace your pain, understand it, and harness its energy, you unlock a profound source of empowerment that can change your life and the lives of others. The first step in transforming pain into empowerment is embracing it fully. Pain, by its nature, is something we instinctively want to avoid or suppress. But true empowerment comes from confronting pain head-on, from accepting it as a part of your journey rather than running from it. When you acknowledge your pain, you take the first step toward reclaiming your power. You begin to see that pain is not something that happens to you, but something that can happen for you, a catalyst for growth, a teacher that reveals the deeper truths of your existence. Understanding your pain is the next critical step. This means digging deep into your experiences to uncover the root causes of your suffering. It involves reflecting on what your pain has taught you about yourself, your relationships, and the world around you. Through this process of introspection, you begin to gain clarity about the lessons embedded in your pain. You start to see patterns, recognize limiting beliefs, and identify areas in your life that need healing. This understanding is empowering because it shifts the narrative from one of victimhood to one of agency. You move from asking, why is this happening to me, to what can I learn from this, and how can I use this to grow? Once you have embraced and understood your pain, you can begin to use it as a tool for empowerment. This involves transforming the energy of your pain into something constructive, something that drives you forward rather than holding you back. Empowerment comes from turning your pain into purpose, from using your experiences to fuel your ambitions and to propel you toward your goals. Your pain becomes the fire that ignites your passion, the force that pushes you to keep going even when the journey is tough. It becomes a source of inner strength that you can draw upon in times of challenge. But the true power of this transformation lies not just in how it changes you, but in how it allows you to change others. Your story of overcoming pain can become a source of inspiration for those who are still in the midst of their struggles. When you share your experiences, you offer others a roadmap, a way out of their own darkness. Your journey becomes a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a living example that it is possible to turn pain into power. By speaking your truth and sharing your story, you can empower others to embrace their own pain, to seek understanding, and to find their own paths to empowerment. This act of sharing is not only empowering for others, but also for yourself. When you use your pain to help others, you transform it into something meaningful and purposeful. Your suffering is no longer in vain. It becomes a force for good, a way to contribute to the world. This sense of purpose is deeply empowering because it connects you to something larger than yourself. It turns your pain into a gift, one that has the power to heal, uplift, and transform. Moreover, when you empower others, you create a ripple effect. The strength and resilience that you pass on to others inspire them to do the same in their own lives. They, in turn, can become sources of empowerment for those around them, creating a chain of positivity and growth that extends far beyond your initial impact. This is the true power of transforming pain into empowerment. It multiplies, reaching people and places you may never even know, but where your influence is felt nonetheless. In this way, your pain becomes a powerful tool for change, not just in your life, but in the lives of many others. It becomes a source of connection, compassion, and community. Through your story, others see that they are not alone, that their pain is not something to be ashamed of, but something that can be harnessed and transformed. Your journey becomes a light in the darkness, guiding others toward their own empowerment. To transform pain into empowerment is to take the most difficult experiences of your life and turn them into your greatest strengths. It is to find meaning in your suffering, to use your pain as a stepping stone toward a higher purpose. And in doing so, you not only empower yourself, but also create the possibility for others to do the same. Your story of overcoming becomes a beacon of hope, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a powerful force for good in the world. In closing, the journey of turning pain into power is one of the most transformative paths we can walk. By embracing our pain, understanding its purpose, and harnessing it as fuel for growth, we redefine our relationship with adversity. Pain becomes not a stumbling block, but a stepping stone, leading us to a higher level of existence. Through resilience, we discover our true strength, and by transforming our pain into empowerment, we not only heal ourselves, but also illuminate the path for others. Our stories of overcoming become powerful testimonies of the human spirit's ability to rise, thrive, and inspire. In the end, pain is not just an experience to endure, it's an opportunity to evolve, to empower, and to leave a lasting impact on the world. Let us embrace this power, using our journeys to inspire change in ourselves and those around us. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that often confuses kindness with weakness. There is a prevailing notion that to be kind, we must always be agreeable, always say yes, and always avoid confrontation. But I'm here to tell you today that this is not the path to true kindness, nor is it the way to build strong relationships or communities. In a world that increasingly equates kindness with passivity, it's crucial to understand the delicate balance between being kind and being overly lenient. Kindness, in its truest form, is an expression of love, compassion, and empathy. It involves understanding the needs of others, offering support, and being there in times of need. But there is a common misconception that to be kind, one must always be agreeable, always avoid conflict, and always put others' desires before their own. This is not kindness, this is leniency, and the two should not be confused. True kindness requires a strength of character that goes beyond mere politeness. It demands that we not only care about others, but also care enough to hold them accountable. To do this effectively, we must distinguish between being kind and being lenient, as the latter can often lead to enabling behavior that is detrimental to both the individual and those around them. When we are overly lenient, we might believe we are being kind because we avoid conflict, spare feelings, and create a temporary sense of harmony. However, this kind of behavior often leads to long-term consequences that are far more damaging than any short-term discomfort caused by setting boundaries or addressing issues directly. Leniency can foster an environment where people feel entitled to act without considering the impact of their actions on others. It can allow bad habits to flourish and prevents individuals from facing the necessary challenges that lead to growth and maturity. To be truly kind, we must understand that sometimes the most loving thing we can do is to be firm. This doesn't mean being harsh or unyielding, but it does mean being clear, consistent, and courageous in our interactions with others. When we hold someone accountable, we are giving them the gift of self-awareness. We are helping them see the consequences of their actions and encouraging them to take responsibility for their behavior. This is a form of kindness that goes beyond superficial niceties. It is a kindness rooted in respect for the other person's potential and their ability to grow. Being firm is not about asserting dominance or control. It's about setting clear expectations and boundaries that help others navigate life more effectively. When people understand what is expected of them and the consequences of their actions, they are more likely to make positive choices. This is particularly important in relationships where there is a power dynamic, such as in parenting, teaching, or leadership roles. In these situations, being overly lenient can lead to a breakdown in respect and authority, making it difficult to guide or influence those we are responsible for. It's also essential to recognize that kindness without firmness can lead to resentment. When we consistently avoid confrontation or fail to express our true feelings in the name of being kind, we might inadvertently allow situations to fester until they become unmanageable. Over time, this can lead to frustration and bitterness, both for ourselves and for those we are trying to be kind to. On the other hand, when we are firm and clear in our communication, we can address issues as they arise, preventing misunderstandings and maintaining healthy, respectful relationships. Moreover, being overly lenient can also rob others of the opportunity to learn important life lessons. Life is full of challenges, and it is often through facing these challenges that we grow and develop resilience. When we shield others from the natural consequences of their actions, we deny them the chance to learn from their mistakes and become stronger, more capable individuals. This is especially true in the case of children or young people who need guidance and sometimes tough love to navigate the complexities of growing up. If we are too lenient, we may inadvertently stunt their emotional and psychological growth. Balancing kindness and firmness requires wisdom and discernment. It requires us to be in tune with our own values and principles and to communicate them clearly to others. It also requires us to be honest with ourselves about our motivations. Sometimes we may choose leniency because it's easier in the short term or because we want to avoid the discomfort of conflict. But true kindness often involves making the harder choice, the choice that may involve some discomfort now, but will lead to better outcomes in the long run. In practice, this balance means being kind in our tone and approach while being firm in our boundaries and expectations. It means listening with empathy, but also speaking the truth when it needs to be said. It means caring enough to confront issues directly rather than sweeping them under the rug. And it means understanding that true kindness sometimes involves challenging others to be their best selves, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. Being too soft might seem harmless at first glance, even virtuous in a world that often values peace and harmony over conflict. However, the consequences of consistently failing to set boundaries can be far-reaching and deeply damaging, not just for the individual who avoids firmness, but also for those around them. When we fail to set boundaries, we open the door to a host of problems that can undermine relationships, hinder personal growth, and create an environment of confusion and frustration. One of the most immediate and visible consequences of being too soft is the erosion of respect. When we allow others to overstep our boundaries without consequence, we inadvertently teach them that our limits don't matter. This can lead to a lack of respect, as people begin to see us as pushovers or as individuals who can be easily manipulated. Respect is a foundational element of any healthy relationship, whether it's personal, professional, or social. Without it, relationships become imbalanced, with one party exerting undue influence over the other. This can lead to resentment, bitterness, and ultimately the breakdown of the relationship. In a broader context, failing to set boundaries can create a culture of entitlement. When individuals are consistently met with leniency, they may start to believe that they are entitled to get their way, no matter the cost to others. This entitlement can manifest in various harmful ways, such as a lack of accountability, a disregard for the feelings and needs of others, and a sense of superiority. This behavior not only damages relationships, but can also spread throughout a group or organization, creating a toxic environment where self-interest prevails over collective well-being. Moreover, being too soft can lead to burnout for the individual who fails to set boundaries. Constantly accommodating others, saying yes when you really mean no, and avoiding difficult conversations can take a significant emotional toll. Over time, this can lead to feelings of exhaustion, resentment, and a loss of self-identity. When we don't assert our own needs and desires, we risk losing touch with who we are and what truly matters to us. This can result in a sense of emptiness and dissatisfaction as we continually put others' needs before our own, neglecting our well-being in the process. In the workplace, the consequences of being too soft are particularly pronounced. Leaders who fail to set clear expectations and hold their teams accountable can create an environment where productivity and morale suffer. Without clear boundaries, employees may become confused about their roles and responsibilities, leading to inefficiency and a lack of direction. Additionally, when poor performance or inappropriate behavior goes unaddressed, it can demotivate other team members who see that there are no consequences for underperformance or misconduct. This can lead to a decrease in overall team cohesion and effectiveness, as well as a decline in trust in leadership. For parents, being too soft can have long-lasting effects on their children's development. Children need boundaries to feel secure and to understand the limits of acceptable behavior. When parents are too lenient, children may struggle with self-discipline, respect for authority, and the ability to cope with adversity. Over time, this can lead to issues with socialization, academic performance, and emotional regulation. Children who are not taught to respect boundaries may also have difficulty forming healthy relationships in the future, as they may expect others to accommodate their every whim. On a personal level, consistently being too soft can lead to a loss of self-respect. When we fail to stand up for ourselves, we send a message to ourselves that our needs and desires are less important than those of others. This can erode our confidence and self-esteem, making it even harder to assert ourselves in the future. Over time, this can create a vicious cycle where we become increasingly passive, avoiding conflict at all costs. and allowing others to dictate the terms of our lives. Furthermore, the absence of boundaries can foster an environment of uncertainty and instability. When people don't know where the lines are drawn, they may feel anxious or unsure about how to behave. This lack of clarity can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and a general sense of unease. Boundaries provide a framework within which relationships can flourish. They give us a clear understanding of what is acceptable and what is not, allowing us to interact with others in a way that is respectful and constructive. Another consequence of being too soft is the potential for enabling destructive behavior. When we fail to set boundaries, we may inadvertently allow others to continue engaging in harmful actions, whether it's a friend who consistently makes poor life choices or a colleague who takes advantage of others' kindness. By not addressing these issues, we contribute to their persistence, making it harder for the individual to recognize the need for change. In some cases, this can lead to a downward spiral, where the behavior becomes more ingrained and harder to correct. The consequences of being too soft are profound and far-reaching. They affect not only the individual who avoids setting boundaries, but also those around them, leading to a breakdown in respect, the cultivation of entitlement, and a range of personal and relational issues. To avoid these outcomes, it's essential to understand the importance of firmness and to embrace the discomfort that sometimes comes with setting and enforcing boundaries. In doing so, we create healthier, more balanced relationships and foster an environment where everyone can thrive. True love is often misunderstood. Many equate it with endless indulgence, never saying no, and always making others feel good. But genuine care is much deeper than simply avoiding conflict or keeping the peace. True love requires strength, and sometimes that strength comes in the form of tough love. Tough love is not about being harsh or unkind. Rather, it's about understanding that real growth and maturity often come through discomfort and challenge. To truly love someone means to care enough about their well-being and their future to say no when necessary and to enforce discipline even when it's difficult. Saying no is one of the most challenging things for people who are naturally compassionate and empathetic. We want to help, we want to support, and we want to make others feel valued. But there comes a point when always saying yes does more harm than good. When we fail to say no or enforce boundaries, we are not helping, we are enabling. Enabling someone to continue down a path of poor choices, destructive behavior, or complacency is not love, it's avoidance. It's avoiding the discomfort of confrontation, avoiding the risk of someone being upset with us, and avoiding the short-term pain that comes with correction. However, discipline is an act of love. Just as a parent disciplines a child to teach them right from wrong, to help them grow into responsible adults, we too must recognize that sometimes love demands correction. The goal of tough love is not to inflict pain, but to encourage growth. When we say no or impose consequences, we are teaching valuable life lessons about accountability, responsibility, and the reality that actions have consequences. Without this, individuals, especially young people, are ill prepared to face the challenges of life. Consider the analogy of a gardener pruning a tree. At first glance, cutting away healthy branches may seem counterintuitive, even harmful. Yet the gardener understands that in order for the tree to grow stronger and bear more fruit, it must be pruned. In the same way, tough love involves cutting away behaviors, attitudes, or patterns that hinder growth, even though it may cause temporary discomfort. The short-term pain of discipline leads to long-term gain, allowing the individual to flourish in ways they wouldn't have otherwise. Tough love also teaches resilience. Life is filled with challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. Shielding people from these realities or constantly bailing them out does not prepare them for the inevitable difficulties they will face. When we step in and enforce discipline, we are helping them build the strength to face life's challenges head-on. We are saying, I believe in your potential to overcome this, and I care enough to let you struggle so you can grow stronger. Without experiencing difficulty, people may never develop the perseverance, tenacity, and character required to succeed. At its core, Tough love is about believing in someone's potential. It's easy to be soft, to avoid conflict, and to give in to every demand or whim. But it takes real strength and real love to hold someone to a higher standard, to say, I expect more from you because I know you are capable of more. This is especially important in relationships where there is a responsibility to guide and shape others, whether as a parent, teacher, leader, or mentor. Those who rely on us for guidance need more than our approval. They need our strength, our wisdom, and our willingness to hold them accountable. Moreover, tough love fosters independence. Constantly rescuing someone from the consequences of their actions creates dependency. When people know that they will always be bailed out, they never learn to take responsibility for their own lives. Tough love, on the other hand, teaches independence by allowing people to experience the natural consequences of their actions. It's not about abandoning them or leaving them to struggle alone, but about giving them the space to learn, grow, and ultimately succeed on their own terms. In a world that often prioritizes comfort and immediate gratification, the concept of tough love may seem outdated or even harsh. But the truth is that without discipline, without correction, and without the occasional no, we are not truly loving others. We are not helping them become their best selves. We are simply keeping them comfortable in their current state. Love is not about comfort, it's about growth. And growth often requires discomfort. It's important to recognize that tough love is not about control. It's not about forcing someone to conform to our standards or expectations. Rather, it's about guiding them toward their own potential, helping them realize the best version of themselves. This requires wisdom and discernment, knowing when to step in and when to let someone struggle through their own challenges. Tough love is about supporting them through the struggle, not removing it entirely. The greatest gift we can offer those we care about is the gift of personal growth. And personal growth often comes at the cost of temporary discomfort, pain, and even conflict. But the long-term benefits of building strong character, resilience, and independence far outweigh the short-term struggles. When we love someone enough to say no and to enforce discipline, we are investing in their future success, happiness, and fulfillment. That is the true essence of love, not softness, but strength in the service of growth. Responsibility is a cornerstone of strong character and meaningful relationships. It goes beyond simply taking care of our own duties and obligations. It extends to how we interact with others and the role we play in their growth and development. Being responsible is not just about managing our own lives with integrity and diligence. It's also about holding others accountable for their actions, even when doing so is uncomfortable. This aspect of responsibility is often overlooked, but it is crucial for fostering environments of trust, respect, and mutual growth. When we think of responsibility, we often consider it in terms of personal accountability, ensuring that we meet our commitments, honor our promises, and act with honesty and integrity. While this is certainly a vital aspect of responsibility, it is not the whole picture. True responsibility also involves a commitment to those around us, especially in relationships where we have some degree of influence or authority, such as in families, workplaces, or communities. In these contexts, responsibility means ensuring that others are also living up to their obligations and acting in ways that are beneficial not only to themselves, but to the collective good. Holding others accountable is one of the most challenging aspects of responsibility because it often involves confrontation and the risk of conflict. It requires us to step into uncomfortable situations where we must address behaviors or actions that are not in line with agreed upon standards or values. This might mean calling out a colleague for not pulling their weight on a team project, discussing a friend's unhealthy habits, or disciplining a child who is acting out. These are not easy conversations to have, and the temptation to avoid them can be strong. But shirking this duty is not responsible. It's a form of negligence that can have serious repercussions. When we fail to hold others accountable, we allow harmful patterns to continue unchecked. This can lead to a range of negative outcomes, from the deterioration of personal relationships to the decline of organizational effectiveness. In families, a lack of accountability can lead to children growing up without understanding the consequences of their actions, which can result in difficulties later in life when they face real-world challenges. In the workplace, it can create an environment where underperformance is tolerated leading to decreased morale, productivity, and ultimately the success of the organization. By avoiding the discomfort of holding others accountable, we are failing to uphold our responsibility to contribute to the well-being and success of those around us. Furthermore, when we do not hold others accountable, we indirectly condone their behavior. Silence can be interpreted as approval and inaction as acceptance. This not only undermines our own integrity, but can also damage the trust that others place in us. If people see that we are unwilling to address issues or enforce standards, they may begin to question our commitment to the values we claim to uphold. Trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild, and a lack of accountability can erode it quickly. Holding others accountable is also an expression of respect. It shows that we value them enough to care about their actions and their consequences. It's a way of saying, I believe in you and your potential, and I expect you to live up to it. This kind of respect is not about imposing our will on others, but about encouraging them to take ownership of their lives and their choices. It's about helping them understand that they are responsible for their actions and that those actions have real effects on themselves and others. In this way, accountability becomes a tool for empowerment, helping others to grow, learn, and become more responsible in their own right. Of course, holding others accountable must be done with wisdom and compassion. It's not about harshly criticizing or punishing someone for every mistake or misstep, but about providing constructive feedback that encourages positive change. It's about being firm but fair, understanding the context of the situation, and offering support where needed. This approach fosters an environment where accountability is seen not as a burden or a threat, but as a necessary and even welcome aspect of personal and collective growth. In some cases, holding others accountable may require us to take a stand that is unpopular or uncomfortable. It might mean challenging someone we care about, knowing that it could strain the relationship. It might mean standing up for what is right, even when it's easier to stay silent. But this is the true test of responsibility. Are we willing to do what is right, even when it is difficult? Are we prepared to take on the discomfort of holding others to a standard, knowing that it is ultimately for their benefit and the benefit of those around them? Taking responsibility is about more than managing our own lives well. It's about contributing to a culture of accountability where everyone is encouraged to be their best selves. This requires courage, integrity, and a commitment to the well-being of others, even when it involves tough decisions and difficult conversations. By holding others accountable, we help create environments where trust, respect, and growth can flourish, benefiting not just the individuals involved, but the broader community as well. Being responsible is about recognizing that our actions, and sometimes our inactions, have a ripple effect. When we take the responsibility to hold others accountable, we are not just ensuring that they meet certain standards, we are helping to build a world where everyone is encouraged to rise to their full potential. And that, in the end, is the true essence of responsibility, making sure that we and those around us are all living in ways that contribute to the greater good. Firmness, often misunderstood as harshness or inflexibility, is actually a powerful tool for empowerment. When used with intention and compassion, firmness helps others grow, build resilience, and reach their full potential. Far from enabling weakness or dependence, being firm encourages people to rise to challenges, develop self-discipline, and become more self-reliant. In a world that often prioritizes immediate comfort over long-term growth, understanding the empowering nature of firmness is essential. One of the most significant ways firmness empowers others is by encouraging accountability. When we are firm with those around us, we make it clear that actions have consequences and that personal responsibility is non-negotiable. This sense of accountability is crucial for growth because it forces individuals to reflect on their behavior, make necessary adjustments, and learn from their experiences. Without this, there is little motivation to change or improve. Firmness helps people understand that they are capable of more and that their actions matter both to themselves and to others. Moreover, firmness builds resilience. Life is full of challenges, and a certain amount of adversity is inevitable. By being firm, we teach others that they have the strength to face these challenges head-on rather than retreating or seeking an easy way out. This doesn't mean being unyielding or unsympathetic, but rather providing a consistent, supportive structure within which others can learn to navigate difficulties. Resilience is not something that can be given, it must be developed through experience. Firmness plays a key role in this process as it requires individuals to push through discomfort, overcome obstacles, and come out stronger on the other side. In relationships, whether personal or professional, firmness fosters respect. When we set clear expectations and boundaries, we show others that we take both ourselves and them seriously. This kind of respect is mutual and deepens over time as both parties recognize that their interactions are based on honesty and integrity. When people know that you will hold them to their word and expect the best from them, they are more likely to rise to the occasion. This kind of respect is not rooted in fear, but in a shared understanding of each other's potential and the value of living up to it. Firmness also combats complacency. When we are too lenient or accommodating, we may inadvertently signal that mediocrity is acceptable or that effort is optional. This can lead to stagnation, where individuals become comfortable with the status quo and lose the drive to strive for more. By being firm, we challenge others to continually grow, to push their limits, and to strive for excellence. This doesn't mean we should be unreasonably demanding, but rather that we should encourage a mindset of continual improvement. Growth happens outside of comfort zones, and firmness helps push people beyond those boundaries where real development occurs. Additionally, being firm can empower others by providing clarity. Clear, firm communication eliminates ambiguity and ensures that everyone understands what is expected of them. This is especially important in environments where teamwork and collaboration are necessary. When people know the standards they are being held to, and when those standards are consistently enforced, there is less room for misunderstanding or miscommunication. This clarity helps individuals focus their efforts, align their actions with collective goals, and work more effectively toward achieving them. Firmness also plays a crucial role in developing self-discipline. When we enforce boundaries and require others to adhere to certain standards, we help them build the habits necessary for self-regulation. Self-discipline is a key factor in achieving long-term goals and overcoming obstacles. It's the ability to stay focused, to resist short-term temptations in favor of long-term rewards, and to keep going even when things get tough. By being firm, we help others cultivate this invaluable trait, which will serve them in all areas of life. Furthermore, firmness encourages independence. When we are firm, we encourage others to take ownership of their actions and decisions. This empowers them to solve problems on their own, make informed choices, and take responsibility for the outcomes. Independence is not about isolating others or refusing to help them, but about giving them the tools and confidence they need to navigate life's challenges on their own. Firmness in this context is about guiding others to rely on their own strengths and abilities rather than constantly depending on external support. It's important to note that firmness must be balanced with empathy. Being firm doesn't mean being rigid or unfeeling. It means setting clear expectations, providing consistent guidance, and offering support where needed, all while understanding the individual's unique circumstances and challenges. This balance ensures that firmness is perceived not as a punishment, but as a form of support that is aimed at helping the person grow and succeed. In parenting, for example, firmness teaches children the importance of rules and consequences, helping them develop a sense of responsibility and self-control. In the workplace, firm leadership fosters a culture of excellence and accountability, where employees are motivated to perform at their best. In personal relationships, firmness ensures that both parties respect each other's boundaries and contribute equally to the relationship's success. Firmness is a form of empowerment because it helps others realize their potential. By holding them to high standards, challenging them to improve, and refusing to enable weakness, we encourage growth, build resilience, and foster independence. Firmness, when applied with empathy and understanding, is a powerful force for good, guiding others toward becoming the best versions of themselves. It's not about control or dominance. It's about believing in the capacity of others to achieve greatness and helping them along that path. From a biblical perspective, discipline and firmness are not merely optional or circumstantial. They are essential components of wisdom and growth. Scripture consistently highlights the importance of discipline as a means of developing character, imparting wisdom, and fostering a deeper relationship with God. Through various passages, the Bible makes it clear that true love and care often manifest in correction and guidance, leading to spiritual maturity and a life aligned with divine principles. One of the most direct teachings on discipline comes from the book of Proverbs, which is filled with wisdom on how to live a life that is pleasing to God. Proverbs 13:24 states, "Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them." This verse underscores the idea that discipline is an expression of love. Far from being an act of cruelty, discipline is a demonstration of care and concern for the well-being of others. It shows a commitment to their growth and development, helping them avoid the pitfalls of poor decisions and guiding them toward a righteous path. Proverbs 3:11-12 further reinforces this concept by saying, "My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in." Here, the analogy of God as a loving father who disciplines his children illustrates the divine nature of correction. Just as a parent disciplines a child out of love and a desire to see them grow into responsible adults, so too does God discipline his followers. This divine correction is not meant to harm, but to heal, not to diminish, but to develop. The New Testament also addresses the importance of discipline, particularly in the context of spiritual growth. In Hebrews 12:5-11, the author speaks extensively about the value of God's discipline. Verses 10-11 state, "They disciplined us for a little while as they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good, in order that we may share in his holiness. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." This passage highlights that discipline, though often uncomfortable, is necessary for producing righteousness and peace in our lives. It is through discipline that we are trained and refined, becoming more like Christ in character and conduct. The Apostle Paul also speaks to the role of discipline in the life of a believer. In 1 Corinthians 9:27, Paul writes, "I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others I myself should be disqualified." Paul recognizes the importance of self-discipline in maintaining a life of integrity and faithfulness to God's calling. His words remind us that discipline is not just something imposed by others, but something we must actively pursue in our own lives. It is a crucial part of living out our faith in a way that is consistent and credible. Another profound example of biblical discipline comes from Jesus himself, who often demonstrated firmness in his teachings and actions. In the Gospels, we see instances where Jesus rebukes his disciples, not out of anger, but out of a desire to correct their misunderstandings and guide them toward truth. For example, in Matthew 16:23, Jesus sharply rebukes Peter, saying, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." Here, Jesus' firm correction was necessary to redirect Peter's thinking and align it with God's purposes. Discipline is also seen as a tool for protecting the community of believers. In Matthew 18:15-17, Jesus outlines a process for dealing with sin within the church, which involves confronting the individual in a spirit of firmness and love, and if necessary, escalating the issue to the broader community. This process of discipline is intended not to punish, but to restore the individual right standing within the community. It's a demonstration of love and concern for the spiritual health of both the individual and the church as a whole. The biblical perspective on discipline emphasizes that it is rooted in wisdom. Proverbs 12:1 says, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid." This verse highlights that discipline is closely tied to the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. It suggests that those who embrace discipline are on the path to becoming wise, while those who reject it are foolish, closing themselves off from growth and understanding. In the context of parenting, the Bible offers additional insights into the role of discipline. Ephesians 6:4 advises fathers, "Do not exasperate your children, instead bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord." This verse calls for a balanced approach to discipline, one that is firm yet fair, guiding children in the ways of the Lord without provoking them to frustration or anger. It underscores the responsibility of parents to provide both discipline and instruction, helping their children grow in faith and character. The Bible presents discipline and firmness as essential for growth, rooted in wisdom and ultimately an expression of love. Whether in the context of parenting, personal growth, or community life, the scriptures affirm that discipline is a necessary tool for shaping character, imparting wisdom, and guiding individuals toward a life that reflects God's righteousness. By embracing this biblical understanding of discipline, we can see that firmness is not only beneficial, but crucial for helping others and ourselves reach the fullness of our potential in Christ. In conclusion, the path to true growth, both personally and in those we guide, requires a balance of kindness and firmness. While it's natural to want to avoid discomfort, it's essential to understand that true love often involves difficult choices, including the necessity of saying no and holding others accountable. By embracing discipline, as taught in biblical wisdom, we are not being harsh, but rather empowering others to reach their full potential, build resilience, and develop strong character. Discipline is an expression of love that fosters independence, responsibility, and spiritual maturity. As we strive to live out these principles, let us remember that firmness grounded in love and wisdom is a powerful tool that not only strengthens our relationships, but also aligns us with the divine purpose of nurturing growth and righteousness in ourselves and others. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that touches the very core of our existence. Why do we fall? Life as we know it is a journey filled with highs and lows, successes and setbacks, victories and defeats. But have you ever paused to ask yourself, why do we fall? What is the purpose behind our failures, our struggles, our moments of despair? Let me start by telling you that falling is not a mistake. Falling is often perceived as a negative experience, something to be avoided or feared. Yet, when we delve deeper into the fabric of life, we begin to understand that falling is not merely an accident or a misstep on the path of success. Instead, it is a fundamental and crucial part of our journey towards growth and purpose. To appreciate the true value of falling, we must first shift our perspective and recognize that every fall carries within it the seeds of potential growth, transformation, and self-discovery. Throughout life, we encounter various challenges, setbacks, and moments of failure that can feel overwhelming. These moments often make us question our abilities, our decisions, and even our self-worth. However, it is precisely in these moments of falling that we are presented with the opportunity to grow beyond our current limitations. When we fall, we are forced to confront our weaknesses, our fears, and our doubts. It is through this confrontation that we gain the clarity and insight needed to evolve into stronger, wiser individuals. Falling serves as a mirror, reflecting back to us the areas of our lives that require attention and improvement. It exposes the gaps in our knowledge, the flaws in our strategies, and the vulnerabilities in our character. In this way, falling is not a sign of failure, but rather an invitation to learn, adapt, and become better. It is a wake-up call that reminds us that we are still on a journey, still in the process of becoming, and that there is always room for growth. Consider the process of learning any new skill or mastering any discipline, whether it is learning to walk, ride a bicycle, or play a musical instrument. The journey is inevitably marked by falls and failures. A child learning to walk will stumble and fall countless times before they are able to take their first steps. With confidence, a musician will hit wrong notes and make mistakes as they practice their craft. These falls are not random accidents. They are integral to the learning process. Each fall teaches a valuable lesson, helps to refine technique, and brings the individual one step closer to mastery. In the broader context of life, falling plays a similar role. It is through our falls that we gain the experience and wisdom needed to navigate the complexities of life. When we fall, we learn about our strengths and weaknesses, about what works and what does not. We discover new ways of thinking, new approaches to problem solving, and new depths of resilience within ourselves. Falling pushes us to expand our comfort zones, to challenge our assumptions, and to explore uncharted territories of our potential. Moreover, falling is a crucial part of our journey toward purpose. Our purpose is not something that is handed to us on a silver platter. It is something that we must discover and cultivate through our experiences. Falling helps to clarify our purpose by stripping away the superficial layers of ego, pride, and fear that often cloud our judgment. When we fall, we are humbled, and in that humility, we are better able to connect with our true selves and our deeper calling. Falling also serves as a reminder of our humanity. It reminds us that we are not infallible, that we are not immune to mistakes, and that we are still in the process of becoming. This awareness of our humanity fosters compassion, both for ourselves and for others. When we recognize that falling is a natural part of the human experience, we become more forgiving of our own shortcomings and more empathetic toward the struggles of others. We begin to see falling not as a source of shame, but as a shared experience that unites us all on the journey of life. Furthermore, falling teaches us the value of perseverance and resilience. It is easy to continue when the path is smooth and the journey is easy. But it is the falls that test our true commitment to our goals and our purpose. Each fall presents us with a choice to give up or to rise again. In choosing to rise, we demonstrate our determination, our courage, and our faith in the journey. It is through this process of falling and rising that we build the inner strength needed to fulfill our purpose. Falling also serves as a powerful tool for self-reflection and introspection. When we fall, we are given the opportunity to pause, to reflect on our actions and decisions, and to reassess our direction. This reflection often leads to new insights and revelations that guide us toward greater alignment with our true purpose. In this way, falling can be seen as a course correction, steering us back on track when we have strayed from our intended path. Falling is an essential part of the journey of life. It is through falling that we grow, learn, and discover our true purpose. By embracing our falls, we open ourselves up to the transformative power of failure and the profound lessons it holds. Rather than seeing falling as a setback, we can choose to see it as a stepping stone on the path to greater growth, wisdom, and fulfillment. Failure is often perceived as the antithesis of success, a sign that we have somehow missed the mark or fallen short of our goals. However, when we examine the lives of those who have achieved great things, we see a different narrative emerge, one where failure is not only a part of the journey, but an essential component to understand the role of failure in success. We must first recognize that failure is not a reflection of our worth or potential. It is simply an indication that we have encountered a challenge or obstacle that requires us to grow, adapt, and refine our approach. In this sense, failure is not an end, but a beginning, a starting point for deeper understanding and more effective action. Each failure brings with it an opportunity to reassess our strategies, to identify what is not working, and to discover new paths that we may not have considered before. Failure teaches us in ways that success cannot. When we succeed, it is easy to attribute our success to our current methods and mindset. We may become complacent, believing that we have found the right way and that no further change or improvement is necessary. However, failure disrupts this complacency. It forces us to confront our limitations and to acknowledge that there are gaps in our knowledge, skills, or strategies. It is through this confrontation that we gain the clarity needed to improve and evolve. Consider the stories of some of the most successful individuals in history, people like Thomas Edison, who famously failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb, or Walt Disney, who faced multiple rejections and financial failures before creating his iconic entertainment empire. These individuals did not allow failure to define them. Instead, they used each setback as a learning experience, as a stepping stone on the path to their ultimate success. They understood that failure is not a sign that they were on the wrong path, but rather a sign that they were on a path that required perseverance, creativity, and continuous improvement. Failure also fosters resilience, a critical quality for anyone seeking long-term success. The road to achieving significant goals is rarely smooth. It is often fraught with obstacles, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. Those who achieve success are not necessarily those who avoid failure, but those who learn to navigate it with grace and determination. Each failure strengthens their resolve, teaching them to keep moving forward despite setbacks. This resilience becomes a key ingredient in their eventual success, enabling them to persist where others might give up. Moreover, failure cultivates a mindset of growth and innovation. When we encounter failure, we are often pushed to think outside the box, to explore new ideas, and to experiment with different approaches. This mindset of innovation is crucial in a world that is constantly changing and evolving. It is through failure that we learn to be adaptable, to embrace change, and to continually seek better ways of doing things. Without the pressure of failure, we might never feel the urgency to innovate, and as a result, we might miss out on opportunities to achieve greater success. In addition to fostering resilience and innovation, failure also teaches humility. Success, especially when achieved too easily or too quickly, can lead to arrogance or a false sense of invincibility. Failure, on the other hand, humbles us. It reminds us that we are human, that we have limitations, and that there is always more to learn. This humility is a powerful asset in the journey to success, as it keeps us open to new ideas, receptive to feedback, and willing to seek help when needed. It helps us to build stronger relationships, to lead with empathy, and to approach challenges with a balanced perspective. Furthermore, failure provides us with the opportunity to build and strengthen our character. It is easy to be confident and positive when everything is going well, but it is in the face of failure that our true character is revealed. How we respond to failure, whether we choose to give up or to rise again, says more about who we are than our successes ever could. Failure builds courage, perseverance, and the ability to maintain hope even in difficult circumstances. These qualities are not only essential for achieving success, but also for leading a fulfilling and meaningful life. Failure also helps us to clarify our goals and refine our vision. Sometimes we pursue goals that are not truly aligned with our passions or purpose, and failure serves as a signal that we need to reassess our direction. It encourages us to dig deeper, to ask ourselves why we are pursuing a particular path, and to make adjustments if necessary. This process of reflection and refinement is crucial in ensuring that the success we ultimately achieve is meaningful and fulfilling, rather than empty or short-lived. The role of failure in success cannot be overstated. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and become better equipped to achieve our goals. Each failure is a stepping stone, bringing us one step closer to the success we seek. Rather than fearing failure, we should embrace it as a vital part of our journey, for it is in the crucible of failure that the seeds of success are sown, nurtured, and eventually brought to fruition. Adversity is often seen as an unwelcome intruder in the narrative of our lives, something to be avoided or endured with reluctance. However, when we take a closer look at the role adversity plays, especially in the context of character development, we begin to see it in a different light. Adversity is not merely a series of unfortunate events or trials. It is a powerful force that shapes and refines our character, making us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. It is through adversity that we discover the depths of our strength and the true nature of our character. Character is not developed in times of comfort and ease. When everything is going well, when we are successful and unchallenged, our character remains largely untested. It is easy to be patient, kind, and optimistic when life is smooth. However, it is in the face of adversity that our true character is revealed and refined. Adversity strips away the superficial layers of our personality, exposing the core of who we are, and providing us with the opportunity to grow in ways we may never have imagined. When we encounter adversity, we are often forced to confront parts of ourselves that we might otherwise ignore. Adversity challenges our patience, tests our integrity, and demands courage in the face of fear. These challenges are not meant to break us, but to build us. Through adversity, we learn the value of perseverance, the importance of maintaining our principles even when it is difficult, and the strength to continue moving forward despite the obstacles in our path. Each challenge we face and overcome adds a new layer to our character, making us more resilient and better equipped to handle future difficulties. Adversity also teaches us humility. When we are faced with situations that are beyond our control, we are reminded of our limitations and the fact that we do not have all the answers. This realization can be humbling, but it is also an essential part of character development. Humility opens us up to learning, growth, and the recognition that we are part of a larger tapestry of life. It helps us to be more empathetic and compassionate toward others who are also facing challenges, fostering a sense of connection and community. Moreover, adversity strengthens our resolve and determination. When we are pushed to our limits, we discover reserves of strength and perseverance that we may not have known we possessed. It is easy to give up when things get tough, but adversity challenges us to dig deeper, to find new sources of motivation, and to keep going even when the odds seem insurmountable. This process of pushing through adversity not only builds physical and mental endurance, but also fortifies our spirit. It teaches us that we are capable of more than we realize, and that with each challenge we overcome, we become stronger and more resilient. Wisdom, too, is a product of adversity. Life's most profound lessons are often learned not in the classroom, but in the crucible of experience. Adversity forces us to reflect, to question, and to seek understanding in the midst of chaos. It is through these reflections that we gain insights into ourselves, others, and the world around us. We learn to see things from different perspectives, to appreciate the complexity of life, and to recognize the value of patience, persistence, and hope. The wisdom gained through adversity is not just intellectual knowledge. It is a deep, lived understanding that informs our decisions and actions in all areas of life. Adversity also plays a crucial role in teaching us gratitude. When we experience hardship, we often gain a greater appreciation for the things we may have taken for granted. The simple joys of life, health, family, friendship, and peace become more precious in the face of adversity. This sense of gratitude not only enhances our overall well-being, but also enriches our character, making us more appreciative, generous, and aware of the blessings in our lives. Furthermore, adversity fosters resilience, the ability to bounce back from difficulties and continue moving forward. Resilience is not just about surviving adversity, it is about thriving in spite of it. It is about taking the lessons learned from our challenges and using them to build a stronger, more capable version of ourselves. Resilience is a key component of a well-developed character, enabling us to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life with grace and confidence. It is through resilience that we turn adversity into an opportunity for growth, rather than a source of defeat. Adversity also deepens our sense of purpose. When we face significant challenges, we are often forced to reassess our goals, values, and priorities. This process of reassessment can lead to a clearer understanding of what truly matters in life and what we are willing to fight for. It helps us to align our actions with our values and to pursue our goals with greater conviction and passion. Adversity, therefore, not only shapes our character, but also clarifies our purpose, guiding us toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. While adversity is often seen as something to be avoided, it is, in fact, one of the most powerful tools for character development. It is through adversity that we grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. It challenges us to rise above our circumstances, to develop qualities such as humility, perseverance, and gratitude, and to build a character that can withstand the test of time. Adversity, in shaping and refining our character, ultimately prepares us to meet life's challenges with confidence and grace, allowing us to become the best versions of ourselves. The process of learning is often romanticized as a journey of discovery, creativity, and growth. However, what is frequently overlooked is the essential role that failure plays in this journey. Each fall, each setback, each mistake we make is not merely a detour from the path of success, but a vital component of it. Embracing the process of learning means recognizing that failure is not just an inevitable part of this process, but a necessary one. It is through these moments of falling that we gain the opportunity to learn, adapt, and ultimately improve, moving closer to mastering any skill or achieving any goal we set for ourselves. When we embark on the journey to learn something new or to achieve a significant goal, we often start with high expectations and a vision of smooth progress. However, the reality is that learning, especially at a deep and meaningful level, is rarely a linear or straightforward process. It involves trial and error, experimentation, and inevitably failure. These setbacks are not signs that we are on the wrong path, but rather indicators that we are engaging with the process in a way that is deepening our understanding and strengthening our abilities. Each time we fall, we are presented with an invaluable opportunity to gain insights that we could not have obtained through success alone. When we succeed without encountering any obstacles, we may assume that our approach is flawless and that we have nothing left to learn. However, failure forces us to reevaluate our strategies, to question our assumptions, and to seek out new methods. It is in this process of reevaluation and adaptation that true learning occurs. We are compelled to dig deeper, to think more critically, and to explore alternative solutions that we might not have considered otherwise. In this sense, falling is a catalyst for growth. It pushes us beyond our comfort zones, challenging us to develop new skills, acquire new knowledge, and refine our techniques. For instance, consider the process of learning a musical instrument. A novice musician will inevitably hit wrong notes, struggle with rhythm, and find certain techniques difficult to master. These mistakes, rather than being a source of frustration, are actually essential to the learning process. Each wrong note provides feedback, highlighting areas that need improvement and guiding the musician toward greater mastery. In any field of endeavor, whether it be athletics, academics, entrepreneurship, or personal development, failure serves as a form of feedback. It tells us where we are falling short, where our understanding is incomplete, and where our skills need further refinement. By paying attention to this feedback and using it to make adjustments, we become more skilled, more knowledgeable, and more capable. This process of continuous learning and adaptation is what ultimately leads to success. Moreover, embracing the process of learning through failure builds resilience and perseverance. When we understand that falling is a natural part of the journey, we are less likely to be discouraged by setbacks. Instead of seeing failure as a reason to give up, we see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. This shift in perspective empowers us to persist in the face of challenges, knowing that each fall brings us one step closer to our goals. The resilience we develop through this process is not only crucial for achieving specific objectives, but also for navigating the broader challenges of life. The process of learning through failure also teaches us the value of patience and persistence. Mastery of any skill or achievement of any significant goal takes time, effort, and repeated attempts. There are no shortcuts to true expertise or success. It is something that must be earned through diligent practice, reflection, and adaptation. By embracing the falls and setbacks as part of this process, we develop the patience to keep going, even when progress is slow or difficult. We learn to trust the process, understanding that each challenge we overcome builds the foundation for future success. Furthermore, the ability to learn from failure is a hallmark of a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. Those with a growth mindset see challenges and failures as opportunities to grow, rather than as threats to their self-worth. This mindset is crucial for achieving long-term success, as it encourages continuous learning and improvement. When we embrace the process of learning, we are cultivating this growth mindset, which in turn fuels our motivation, creativity, and innovation. In addition to fostering a growth mindset, embracing the process of learning through failure also deepens our sense of self-awareness. Each fall provides us with a mirror reflecting our strengths and weaknesses, our fears and motivations. By reflecting on our failures, we gain a clearer understanding of ourselves, our habits, our thought patterns, and our emotional responses. This self-awareness is essential for personal growth, as it enables us to make more informed decisions, to manage our emotions more effectively, and to align our actions with our goals and values. Embracing the process of learning also cultivates a sense of humility. When we acknowledge that failure is a natural and necessary part of growth, we become more open to feedback, more willing to ask for help, and more accepting of our imperfections. This humility not only enhances our learning, but also strengthens our relationships with others. We become better collaborators, better listeners, and more supportive mentors, recognizing that everyone is on their own learning journey and that failure is a shared human experience. The process of learning is inextricably linked with the experience of failure. Each fall is not a setback, but an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. By embracing this process, we develop the skills, knowledge, and resilience needed to achieve our goals and to master the challenges we face. We cultivate a growth mindset, deepen our self-awareness, and build the humility necessary for continuous growth. Ultimately, it is through the process of learning through the falls and failures along the way that we move closer to becoming the best version of ourselves and to achieving the success we seek. In the tapestry of life, the challenges and struggles we face are not random occurrences or mere accidents of fate. Instead, they are woven into our journey with a purpose that transcends our immediate understanding. There is a divine design behind our struggles, a greater plan that uses these challenges to prepare us for our destiny and to help us fulfill our purpose. To see our struggles in this light is to recognize that we are not simply enduring hardship for hardship's sake, but rather we are being shaped and refined by a process that is ultimately guiding us toward the fulfillment of our potential. When we encounter difficulties, it is natural to question why they are happening. We may wonder what we did wrong or why we are being tested in such a way. Yet, when we step back and view our lives from a broader perspective, we begin to see that these challenges are not arbitrary. They are carefully placed on our path to mold us, to teach us, and to equip us with the qualities and skills we need to fulfill the greater purpose for which we are destined. Consider the story of Joseph in ancient texts, who was sold into slavery by his brothers, unjustly imprisoned, and faced numerous trials before eventually rising to a position of great power and influence. At each stage of his journey, it might have seemed that life was dealing him a series of unfortunate blows, but in hindsight, it becomes clear that each challenge was a necessary step in his preparation. The trials Joseph faced were not just obstacles, they were divine instruments shaping his character, sharpening his wisdom, and positioning him to fulfill his ultimate purpose. In our own lives, the struggles we face often serve a similar function. They are not just random events meant to cause suffering, they are purposeful experiences that contribute to our growth and development. Every challenge we encounter is an opportunity for us to build the resilience, patience, and strength of character needed to carry out our unique destiny. These experiences teach us lessons that we might not have learned in any other way, and they often reveal qualities within us that we didn't even know we possessed. This divine design in challenges also works to align us with our true purpose. Sometimes we find ourselves pursuing paths that are not fully aligned with who we are meant to be or what we are meant to do. The struggles we face can act as course corrections, steering us away from distractions and back toward our true calling. They force us to reevaluate our priorities, to let go of what is not serving us, and to focus on what truly matters. In this way, challenges can be seen as divine guidance, helping us to stay on track and to move closer to fulfilling our purpose. Moreover, the difficulties we encounter often bring out the best in us. In the midst of adversity, we discover strengths we didn't know we had and develop abilities we might never have cultivated otherwise. It is in these moments of struggle that we are stretched beyond our comfort zones and compelled to rise to new levels of capability. The challenges refine us, just as gold is refined in the fire. They burn away the impurities of doubt, fear, and complacency, leaving us with a purer, stronger, and more focused sense of self. These struggles also deepen our empathy and compassion. When we experience hardship, we gain a greater understanding of the pain and challenges that others face. This understanding enables us to connect with others on a deeper level, to offer support, and to fulfill our purpose in ways that contribute to the well-being of those around us. Our struggles often equip us to be of service to others, to share the lessons we have learned, and to guide others through similar difficulties. In this way, our challenges not only prepare us for our destiny, but also enable us to help others fulfill theirs. The divine design behind our struggles also fosters trust and faith. When we recognize that our challenges are part of a greater plan, we begin to trust the process of life more deeply. We understand that even when things seem difficult or uncertain, there is a purpose at work that is leading us toward our ultimate good. This trust allows us to face challenges with a sense of peace and confidence, knowing that we are being guided and supported every step of the way. It helps us to surrender our fears and anxieties, to embrace the lessons that each challenge offers, and to move forward with faith in our journey. Furthermore, the struggles we face often serve as preparation for the responsibilities and opportunities that lie ahead. Just as an athlete must train rigorously before competing in a major event, we too must undergo preparation before we can fully step into our destiny. The challenges we face are part of this preparation, strengthening us, teaching us, and equipping us with the skills and mindset needed to succeed. When we view our struggles as preparation rather than punishment, we begin to appreciate the value of the process and to approach each challenge with a sense of purpose and determination. Ultimately, the divine design in our challenges is about transformation. It is about becoming the person we were created to be and fulfilling the purpose for which we were born. Every struggle, every setback, and every challenge is a stepping stone on the path to this fulfillment. They are the tools through which we are shaped, refined, and prepared to carry out our unique mission in life. In embracing this divine design, we move beyond merely enduring our struggles to actively engaging with them as opportunities for growth and development. We learn to see each challenge as a gift, a part of the greater plan that is leading us toward our destiny. And in doing so, we align ourselves more fully with our purpose, allowing the divine design to unfold in our lives in ways that are truly transformative and fulfilling. The true measure of a person is not found in how many times they fall, but in how many times they rise after each fall, and more importantly, in how they rise stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Life is not a smooth, unbroken path. It is filled with twists, turns, and obstacles that inevitably cause us to stumble. Yet, it is in the act of rising again that we demonstrate our true strength and character. Each time we get back up after a fall, we are not just returning to where we were, we are moving forward with greater understanding, fortified by the lessons that our struggles have taught us. Falling is an inevitable part of the human experience. No one is immune to setbacks, failures, or disappointments. However, it is not the fall itself that defines us, but our response to it. When we rise after a fall, we are making a conscious choice to not let that fall be the end of our story. We are choosing to continue our journey to pursue our goals and to fulfill our purpose despite the obstacles we have encountered. This choice to rise again is a powerful act of resilience, one that speaks volumes about our inner strength and determination. Each fall offers us a unique opportunity to gain new insights and perspectives. When we face challenges and setbacks, we are often pushed to re-examine our approaches, to question our assumptions, and to find new ways of overcoming the obstacles in our path. This process of reflection and adaptation is crucial for growth. As we rise from each fall, we do so with a deeper understanding of ourselves, our goals, and the world around us. We become more strategic in our actions, more thoughtful in our decisions, and more resilient in the face of future challenges. Rising stronger after a fall also involves embracing the wisdom that comes from adversity. Every fall teaches us something valuable, whether it's a lesson in humility, a reminder of our own resilience, or a deeper understanding of what truly matters in life. When we rise with this newfound wisdom, we are better equipped to navigate the challenges that lie ahead. We become more attuned to the nuances of our journey, more aware of the potential pitfalls, and more prepared to handle them with grace and confidence. This wisdom becomes a guiding force, helping us to make better choices and to avoid the mistakes of the past. Moreover, each time we rise after a fall, we build our confidence and self-belief. The act of rising itself is a testament to our ability to overcome difficulties and to keep moving forward, no matter how tough the journey may be. This growing confidence is not just about believing in our ability to succeed. It is about trusting in our capacity to recover, to learn, and to grow from every experience. With each rise, we strengthen our belief in our own resilience, knowing that no matter what comes our way, we have the inner resources to rise again. The process of rising also cultivates a sense of purpose and direction. When we fall, it can be easy to lose sight of our goals and to feel discouraged. However, when we choose to rise, we reaffirm our commitment to our purpose. We remind ourselves why we started the journey in the first place and what we are working toward. This renewed sense of purpose becomes a powerful motivator, driving us to persevere even in the face of adversity. It keeps us focused on the bigger picture, helping us to navigate the challenges with determination and resolve. Rising stronger after each fall also strengthens our relationships and our connection to others. When we rise, we do so not only for ourselves, but often for those who are watching us, learning from us, and depending on us. Our resilience can inspire others to rise in their own lives, showing them that it is possible to overcome difficulties and to continue moving forward. This shared experience of rising after a fall fosters a sense of community and solidarity as we recognize that we are not alone in our struggles. We are all part of a larger human experience, one in which we support and uplift each other as we navigate the challenges of life. Furthermore, each time we rise after a fall, we contribute to our legacy. Our lives are not defined by the moments of failure, but by how we responded to them. The stories of those who have inspired us the most are not tales of unbroken success, but of perseverance in the face of adversity. These stories remind us that greatness is not about never falling it's about always rising. No matter how many times we are knocked down, when we rise after a fall, we are writing our own story of resilience, one that can inspire and encourage others for generations to come. Rising stronger also involves embracing the changes that each fall brings. Every time we fall, we are changed in some way, whether through the lessons we learn, the strength we gain, or the new perspectives we acquire. These changes are not something to be feared or resisted. They are an integral part of our growth. When we rise, we do so as a transformed individual, one who is better equipped to handle the complexities of life. This transformation is a sign of our growth, our adaptability, and our willingness to evolve in the face of challenges. The true measure of a person is not found in the number of times they fall, but in their ability to rise each time stronger and wiser than before. Life's challenges are not meant to break us, but to build us, to help us discover the depths of our strength, and to prepare us for the journey ahead. Each fall is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to rise with renewed purpose and determination. It is through this process of falling and rising that we become the person we are meant to be, capable of achieving our goals and fulfilling our purpose with grace, resilience, and unwavering resolve. In life, falling is inevitable, but it is not the fall that defines us, it is how we rise. Each fall is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient, preparing us for the greater purpose and destiny that lies ahead. Through adversity, we discover our true character, develop deeper understanding, and build the strength to continue our journey. Embracing our struggles as part of a divine design, we rise not just to regain our footing, but to move forward with renewed purpose and unwavering determination. In rising after each fall, we fulfill our potential and leave a lasting legacy.